In this video, I'm going to be talking about 6th rank Rook's pawn. It is black to play in this position. Now with the 6th rank Rook's pawn, there's more space for the knight to attack the pawn and prevent it from promoting, as now the pawn is 2 steps away from being able to go to promotion, and in this position, black's king is blocking his own pawn from promotion. Now the next possible white's move is to simply move his knight down to f3. f3 will prevent the pawn from promoting because actually what happens is that the knight is actually blocking the next square h2 upon which the pawn can move. For black to prevent that, black must simply move his knight right beside f3 square and g4 square, upon which the knight can move on to and block the pawn from moving to the square safely and prevent it from simply making this game end in a draw. Now knight cannot move over to either one of these two squares, as simply is blocked by this king right here. White's king might try to help the knight by moving over here, thus protecting the square upon which the knight can move here and block that pawn. But that move has already been too late by one step, as this pawn is already on that step one step ahead of the knight. So that even if the knight were to move right here and try to attempt to threaten this pawn, this pawn can simply move right here and become a queen. Happy checkmating. If you play the right moves and ensure that the knight does not fork your black king and black queen together, then this game can most likely end in checkmate, as a queen is a more far superior piece in this case compared to a knight. Now, if you remember for the first part of the video, I described that if the knight were to move to f3 or g4, he'll be able to check this king. And of course, that's a very dangerous position because that wastes black's movement and forces him to move his king before he moves his pawn. But in some ways, these two spots are also unprotected. So white's best first move is to move closer to his king. By moving his king closer to black's king, in some ways limits the space upon black can move. If black is limited in his amount of moves, then therefore his limited amount of chance for his pawn to promote. Black's best move is maybe to move right here. By moving right here, he counters white's movement and also at the same time moves out of the way. But although he moves out of the way, the knight can move right here still. In this case, the knight is finally protected by his own king, and also at the same time prevents the pawn from moving on. If the pawn were to move on, the knight will capture it. But some of you may ask, well, why should king move over here? Couldn't he move over here? Well, in that he moves over here, our knight can always move here with the protection of this king right here, and be able to make this game a draw. Even if the king were to say, move down right here. In some ways, it actually checks the king and forces him to move somewhere. Even though he moves closer to this pawn is always in a stuck position. So long as white keeps rotating around these free spaces right here, or this force one right over here, as long as he protects the knight, and the knight is always in a position to make this capture the pawn if it moves, then his game will end in a draw. In some ways, this key principle of this game is this way. For a knight, you must be able to move in right from the pawn in any given step or moment. For the king, you must remain close enough to your knight if necessary, to support it and to prevent the black or the other opposite side from taking that knight.